Hello, Leo. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and today I'll be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of January 2023. If this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. For the readings this month, I'll be using my original tarot deck. I will clarify with my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and then I will close out your reading with a Work Your Light Oracle card. All right, Leo, let's go ahead and get right into your reading. It looks like your intuition is going to be on point as we move into the new month. You've also got lots of attention and some good news. Wow, coming your way. Leo, you've got some fantastic cards. All right. Okay, Leo. So like I said, your intuition is definitely on point as we move into January. That's definitely a good thing. It's going to take you far. It's going to bring you more money. You're going to intuitively know what to do and what not to do, especially as it relates to your work, your business, your career, and your investments, all those wonderful things. The High Priestess is also a card of the divine femininity. So for those of you who are in tune with your feminine side or your feminine flow, that's definitely going to serve you well as we move into this new month and into this new year. Next up, we do have the Six of Wands. That's a card of attracting a lot of attention. Looks like you're going to have an opportunity to monetize that attention. Don't be surprised if you become a celebrity at some point. Now, it doesn't have to be like, you know, a big Hollywood celebrity, but maybe you become more well-known in your industry or at your place of work or in your community or on social media, all those things. But definitely use this attention, this wonderful positive attention, to your advantage, because the Page of Pentacles says that you've got some good news coming as it relates to money. Now, I do believe that you are going to see some money flowing to you as we move into January. These cards are all telling me that. Also, the Sun cards, the most positive card in the deck. Again, because this reading is focused on money, finances, abundance, all those things, there's no way money cannot come to you. All right, so you're definitely in a position to win, Leo. You're also in a position to receive, so that's excellent. Next up, we do have the Six of Pentacles. Now, that's a card. It's in the reverse, so you have to be careful not to be too overly generous, right? Because that's a card about generosity and you giving. But because you've got so much good coming your way, there's nothing wrong with you sharing the wealth, you know, Leo. But we have to be careful not to overgive. So that's what that card is telling me to tell you. It's wonderful to be generous, but remember, do not give unless it's from your overflow. Make sure you take care of you and yours first. Finally, we do have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Now, this is a card of feeling no regrets. Looks like you've made some decisions and you feel like they are the best decision, and you don't have any remorse, guilt, any negative feelings about the decisions you've recently made. Now, I do feel like this is something work-related for a lot of you, so maybe you're going to quit your job, maybe you're going to start a business, whatever the case may be. You're pretty confident that you've made the right decision, and I have to say I agree with you, Leo. I do think you've made the right decision, at least for, you know, the circumstances right now in your life. And of course, you can always change things along the way. All right, Leo, let's see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, abundance for the month of January 2023. What do we need to know for the sign of Leo? All right. Let's see. Do we have everybody in frame? Let me move this down. So as we move into the second week of January, Leo, looks like you are going to be doing a lot of withdrawing and kind of retreating to yourself, right? This Four of Swords talks about sometimes being still and really taking a step back. When it shows up in the reverse, it means that you definitely have to take a step back. And it may not necessarily look like you're doing the right thing, quote unquote, but it's what you need to do for you right now, okay? So don't feel bad or don't feel like you have to explain why you need to step away from something. Sometimes I think that's how we get the best clarity, is when we actually remove ourselves from a situation And we give ourselves time, you know, to kind of evaluate, make decisions, process, and figure things out on our own. Next up, we do have the Knight of Wands. Now, this means some type of help or support or assistance is coming your way as it relates to your work. This is a very good card. It's definitely in the positive position. This is going to be something good. The right person comes at the right time with exactly the answers or whatever it is that you need. So that's going to be a really good thing. Next up, we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is a card about investing and financial literacy. I do get the sense that some of you are going to be learning some things, especially as it relates to investing. Maybe taking a class, maybe finally deciding to dive into something very slowly, something you've always been interested in. I do believe that this is going to be a good time for you to invest right now, Cancer, but again, invest in things that you know and you understand, okay? I'm not giving financial advice, but I am saying if there's something you've always been drawn to, the King of Pentacles tells us that now is a good time for you to get involved, okay? And again, you're going to have to do that to the degree that you understand and to the degree and the extent that you feel confident, all right? Never invest or get involved in anything that you're totally clueless about. You know, you need to have at least a basic understanding of whatever it is, you know, investing, real estate, whatever. All right, next up we do have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a great card. That's actually the marriage card. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you get married around this time. I also see this card as the card of stability and foundation. So it's a really good card because it means that you're going to be in a financially stable position. Okay, it also means that, you know, you're building a very strong foundation for your financial life and your financial future. So that's an excellent thing, and that's a very positive thing, you know, for you to really kind of embrace right now. You're doing the right things. You're taking the right steps. Next up, the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands is a communication card. There's probably going to be some conversations you have where people don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. It's okay. People don't need to understand, but understand that it could cause some tension, especially with people that are close to you. You know, spouse, siblings, parents, whatever, even some coworkers, you know, they may feel a little tense because you're doing doing some things that are working for you, and maybe it doesn't necessarily benefit them, but that's okay. Finally, we have the Devil card. Now, the Devil card talks about unhealthy attachments. Now, this is something that you got to pay attention to. Okay, Leo, there is something that you are holding on to that may not be in your best interests. It could be toxic relationships. It could be an addiction. It could also be just unhealthy habits or even a detrimental mindset. Okay, so what is it that could be harming you that you know you have to release? But maybe you're struggling with, okay? The Devil card is calling this to our awareness. Or maybe it's something subconsciously that you're not aware of, but you know it affects you in one way or another, okay? So that's something that you definitely need to pay attention to. All right, Leo, let's see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of January 2023. What do we need to know for the sign of Leo? Okay. All right. Let me make sure everybody can be seen here. All right, Leo, so as we move into the second half of January, we've got this Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, that's the card of luxury and splurging. But when she shows up in the reverse, that means we have to be careful not to overindulge. Overindulge in something, could be spending, could be eating, could be whatever. But we have to make sure that we kind of keep some boundaries for ourselves, okay? Because this, I always see this card when someone has an overspending habit or they're kind of being a little bit careless with the finances. Now, we all have those moments, so that's not anything too, you know, terrible. But again, it is something that we need to call into our awareness because we do have financial goals that we're trying to achieve. Next up, we do have the Two of Swords. I like seeing that card in the reverse because it means that you're not struggling with a decision and you are not procrastinating. You're actually taking action and you're making things happen. And I can say that with confidence because the next card we have is that Eight of Pentacles. That means you're very busy working, you're very busy moving things, making things happen, taking the necessary steps, and you're getting things done. And the work is definitely coming your way because you want it to, which means that's going to bring more opportunity and more money. Next up, we have the Knight of Swords. One of my favorite cards for timing, the Knight of Swords, that things happen very, very quickly or they happen ahead of schedule. Okay, so that's really, really good, especially for some of you who are waiting to hear back on some type of financial decisions, maybe a loan, maybe you're ahead of deadline on a project, whatever the case may be. It's definitely positive. Next up, we have the Six of Cups. Now that's you reconnecting with someone from your past, and it's going to be a positive reconnection. I do get the sense that this is something in your personal life, Leo. I don't really pick up that this is like a professional thing. I get the sense that this is someone from your past who shows up or who wants to, who reaches out, or maybe you run into them when you're out and about, at Starbucks or something. But it definitely is going to be a positive reconnection. And I think this is going to be something that kind of gets you out of a funk in some ways. You just feel really, really good. You see someone and you're like, oh my gosh, haven't seen him or her for years. They look great. Those memories come flooding back, and it just kind of rejuvenates you in a way. So I think it's definitely going to be a good thing. Finally, we do have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, this means that there is something you're expecting as it relates to money that actually doesn't show up, or it shows up lower than what you were expecting it to be. So maybe it could be you're waiting to hear back on a loan and you're only approved for a certain dollar amount. You thought you'd be approved for so much more. So it's not necessarily negative, but it means something falls short of your expectations. Okay, so it could be even a raise or something where you thought you were going to get a 30% raise and they say, oh, we can only give you a 20% raise. It's something like that. So it's still good, but whatever it is, it just doesn't come through like how you thought it was going to. But again, it's not anything negative, so I don't want you to worry or stress about it. All right, Leo, let's continue on and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of January 2023. All right, I feel like I want one more card for you, Leo. Let's see what else shows up. Okay, so you're going to be doing a lot of work by yourself, but I think that's a good thing, Leo. I really do. Okay. So, Leo, we've got the Star card in the reverse. Now, the Star card is always a positive card in my readings, okay? It doesn't matter how it shows up. It's one of my favorite cards because not only is it a card of literally being a star or a celebrity, like we talked about earlier with the Six of Wands, but the Star card also is a card about vitality, and it's also a card that represents health for me, right? So if this card is in the reverse, this means that we really need to put our health as a priority. So I'm getting the sense that I need to remind some of you, Leos, that you really need to focus on your health. And January is an excellent time to do it, right? Most people start, new diets, new workout programs, whatever, in January. And so this card is telling me to tell you, Leo, that you really need to make your health and your wellness a priority. Next up, we got the Seven of Wands. That's another communication card. Again, I do get the sense that you're going to be having some conversations and people don't understand what you're doing. Again, Leo, there's going to be a lot of people who are not on board with what you do and how you do it, but that's okay. It really doesn't matter as long as you're strong enough and confident enough to say, hey, this is what's working for me right now, right? So you have to be very assertive. That's what this card is all about. It's about you asserting yourself in a way that protects yourself, okay? So you're not at the mercy of someone else's opinion. Next up, we do have the Ten of Cups. Now, that's one of the most positive cards in the deck. This tells me that things really are going to work out for you, especially in January, Leo. I hope you're ready, and I hope you are prepared, because you're going to be celebrating something. There's going to be something wonderful and fantastic coming your way, and you're going to be very happy. You're going to be very pleased with the outcome. Next up, we do have the Temperance card. Now, the Temperance card in the reverse talks about things could be a little out of balance for a while, but I don't see this as a negative. You know, I do get the sense that when you start prioritizing some things, then yes, things are not always going to be perfectly in harmony, and that's okay. You know, it's kind of being able to adapt and be flexible, because if you're focused on making a lot of money, then obviously some things are going to have to fall by the wayside. But a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, we embrace that. We embrace working. We embrace being able to do all the things that we want to do, or we embrace just, you know, having the money, you know, like there's nothing wrong with wanting the money. Okay. So I guess I'm saying that because I speak from experience, but I do understand that sometimes people feel guilty when they put their work or their business first, but sometimes you do have to do that in order to succeed. Doesn't mean you do that forever, but sometimes we do have to do that. All right, next up we got the Ten of Swords. I like seeing that card in the reverse because that means you are overcoming something that was very emotionally painful, right? And you're not allowing that to get in the way of your goals and get in the way of you making money. So that's a very good card because it talks about healing, and it talks about releasing, and even in some cases it talks about forgiving. Finally, we do have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, this is the card where I said you're going to be doing a lot of work on your own, Leo. I get the sense that you're going to be working independently, and that's going to actually be the most productive way for you to work, at least right now. You know, you're pretty solid on what you want to do and where you want to go, and sometimes you just have to grind that out. You know, you just have to do it and not have to deal with other people's input, at least for the time being, right? And sometimes that's going to make you the most money, and that's going to make you the most successful. So Leo, your month, I mean, I just see so many good things. It starts off strong. You know, you work on some things within yourself, you get your health in order, and again, you start working very independently to make those results happen. All right, let's go ahead and close out your reading with a Work Your Light Oracle card. Ah, this is a good one. It says, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? What is your soul calling you to do? Now, I do think this card is a reflection of what we talked about early in your reading, where I said your intuition is truly on point in January. And I think that's what you're doing. You're answering the call. All right, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, please drop them down below. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.